very interesting video today that I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about things I've learned since becoming an anime YouTuber. I feel like this would be an interesting video I could do. Maybe some people can learn some stuff. Maybe you can. Maybe you can just laugh at some of the stuff I've learned, because there's been a lot of different stuff I've learned. Depending on how this does, maybe I might do a part 2 in the future, because I don't have everything I've learned. I just got some of the stuff I could just think about top of the head. And you should know, since we got a video like this, we got lists on our phones because we're saving trees. You know, haven't said that in a while because it'd be like that though. Alright, so the first thing I want to talk about is people don't read light novels, or just like books that are made, like regular books in general, which is kind of crazy. I mean, I used to not like reading books in elementary school and part of middle school. Then I picked up a book and I was like, oh, this shit's actually good, because like in high school I had to read Malcolm X like 2 times, and you know, that's a long ass book. So it's very interesting, because I mean, you should at least read other books. Like, I know a lot of people, they'd be like, yo, I only like pictures, I can't read books that don't have pictures. And I'm like, one day I'm like, bro, if you're in college, yes, you do still gotta read shit in college. So it's like, even though some of them shit you can BS and not reading none of them damn books, but it's just like very interesting to me that people don't like light novels, or just like read books in general, or they'd be like, yo, I don't read books that don't have pictures. And I'm like, really? I'm like, you kind of need to. I mean, it's kind of like a life trait that you need to just read at least one book that doesn't have pictures in it, because I mean, that helps your imagination. That's why light novels are amazing, because like it helps with your imagination, and like you shows that you have a good imagination, because you can just imagine what's happening as you're reading it. So it's like, hey, if you don't like regular books, I was about to say picture books, I was about to say, if you don't like regular books, you should at least read one, at least read one a year. Try it, bro. Just try it, because you need to. It'll help you. Like, bro, you'll show that you have a good imagination and all that, and it's just like, it's really good to read that. You don't always need to read manga and all that. All right, the next thing that kind of goes with this is people don't read manga. So when Promised Neverland came out and all that big shit that was happening and all that, there was a lot of YouTubers I saw in here that did not read the manga at all, and they were just acting the way they was, while everybody that read the manga was all upset, and they had like things, and they were just seeing like how the pacing was and all that. It was just like, it was very interesting. Like, there are a lot of people who don't read manga to certain series, especially like if it's a Shonen Jump series. You think most people would read that because it's a popular series, especially like anything that's popular. But there's a lot of people who don't read manga because maybe they just get it, maybe they just got into anime or something, or they just act like they just don't want to read it. But I mean, there's always a manga that will get you into reading more manga. Like, it always happens. Like, that happens so much. Like, you'll see an anime you really fuck with, and you'd be like, what does this have, a manga or light novel? I can understand a light novel, because the thing about light novels is, bro, there's way too many of them for most of the time. If it's a light novel series that has like 4 volumes, you're good. But there's a lot of them that have way too many, so I can understand people not reading light novels. But manga, come on, bro, you can read a manga, bro. If you're finding anime, if there's an anime, let's say you like JJK, bro, read the manga. You need to, that you can catch up, because you never know when a season 2 of something's gonna come out. So that's why you should always read the manga that you can catch up. Especially like with Tokyo Revenger, he has 200 and something chapters. The anime only covered like 68 of it. Read the manga that you can know what happened. All right, next thing I want to talk about is people really like Classroom Elite a lot. I did not realize that people like the Classroom Elite anime as much as they do, because like, it's crazy. Like, it's really crazy the amount of people that really like the anime, because like every time I see like a TikTok or something of an underrated anime, that's always on there. Every time I see an underrated anime on Twitter or Instagram or any other social media, Classroom Elite's always on there, and I'm like, damn. Like, I didn't know people actually, I thought like it had like mixed reviews, because I mean, it is, like I said, the anime is interesting. It's just when you read the light novels, you realize it's not as good as it could have been. It's very interesting that people like really think that. All right, along them lines, another anime that I've popularized on my channel for somehow, like my channel's popularized it because of like stuff I've watched, and then my videos have blown up. I can't really say I popularized it. I didn't really do it. It's just because it's on other shit. All right, I'm over here just talking about random shit, but people really will say that Kami ga Kill is sad. And I'm like, I understand why people say it, but then I'm like, is it really though? Is it really? I'm like, I should make a video about that, because it's like, is it really sad? I mean, because we barely get an attachment with these people that just die. This is only a 24 episode series. It's not like they die like in episode like 24. Now they die throughout the whole series, and like early on they die. So I'm just like, is it really that sad? I mean, there are some sad deaths. Like, I always say Chelsea's death is wild, but then at the same time, you can justify her death. If you actually read Zero, you'd be like, oh, I see why she died. I mean, not really the way she died, but you can be like, yo, I see why she died, because of what she did in Zero, and what she basically always done. Because even in the Kami ga Kill, it kind of explains like what she's always done, especially with that fight, what she was going to do. So I don't know, they're like, I see why people say it's sad, but then I'm like, I wasn't sad when I watched it or even read it. It's like, But like I can understand where people get depressed, because like you get an attachment with a character and then they die like that. But I mean, it happens so fast in the Comedy Kill that I'm like, can you really get a connection with some of these characters? They die so fast. But I understand why people do that. I understand it, I guess. Another thing is, if you have any different opinions about any anime, people will hate you about it, basically, like any different ones. And that comes especially like if it's an anime is like very popular and it's just now coming out. Like I made a video about JJK and you saw I got so much hate in that video because people literally will not listen to your opinion at all when it comes to anything that's popular. And then they act like you can't dislike something that's popular just because it's popular, because there's a lot of anime that you might not like because it's not like, just because it's popular doesn't mean you have to like it. So that's one thing I've learned, is just like, bro, you can't have any different opinion or people are going to be like, oh, your opinion sucks, you blah blah, all this type of shit. Another thing is, you can't have an opinion in general, but I mean that's obvious. If you've been on any social media, you know that you can have a different opinion than anybody, so people act like that. Another thing is that you'll find out that a lot of people like won't like an anime that you actually thought was dope, and you'll see that a lot of people trash it or say shit about it. Even if there's like, even like majority of the anime community thinks this anime is really good, there'll always be this one person that'll be in your comments or saying some shit like, oh, do you have this such and such post in the background, like that anime sucked, I didn't like it, and all this other type of stuff. You have people that say stuff like that. It's always interesting. Like it's very interesting. And I'm like, and then like if I don't like an anime, I'll have somebody that like might say something back to me because like I don't like it. And I'm like, bro, you can't like make me like an anime just because you liked it, just because the anime sucked. You can't be like, yo, make me like it just because I said it sucked. Everybody can have their opinion about something, but in the anime community you really can't. But even on the internet in general, you really can't have an opinion, because trust me, nobody can have an opinion, because somebody's always gonna disagree with you. Like you can literally say, what, the color of this shirt right here is white, and somebody will be like, no, it's not. That's how the internet works. But that's one thing you kind of learn. All right, another thing I've learned is that rant videos get views on YouTube. Like it's crazy. All my rant videos, it all started with the fucking Promised Neverland, and even my one random ass what is Wonder Egg Priority, because I was mad about the episode, gets views. It's like, it's very interesting. So it's like, if I ever want views, it's like, make a rant video about something that happens in an anime, and sometimes it happens. Like it seems like, especially if like it's something big, it will happen. So I'm like, oh, rant videos, that's very interesting. And I'm like, because my rant videos are always all over the fucking place, and are never really like nothing crazy good. Another thing is, like, when it comes to views, like on YouTube, it's always some lucky random shit. Like it really is. It's never like no shit where you're just like, yo, I'm gonna pop off after this, because like, bro, I still look at my Funimation video like, how the fuck did that get that many views? And bro, I'm mad about that though, because that's the one video I did not, like, if you listen to some of the stuff I've talked about, that is one I predicted that it would blow up somehow. I just joked saying that, telling to my friends, and it blew up. But it's the one I'm thinking, I look at it back now and I'm like, damn, why the fuck did that one blow up? Because that's the one when I'm doing all that funny shit, and I'm like, I have no facial hair, so it looks like I'm a little kid, so I'm just like, ah. So that's one of those. I mean, another thing is, like, you always look at your own videos and just like critique it and just be like, did I really need to do this video? Because I think about that with a lot of my stuff. Like some of the ones, like when it blows up, I think it like, I could have done better. Like in my Promised Neverland ones, I most definitely could have done better, but then I'm just like, it blew up, and I'm kind of like, why did it? That's how I always feel, because like when a video blows up, bro, I'd rather have a video get 200 views than blow up and get like 40k or something crazy, because you're gonna get hella comments, and the comments are always all over the place. Sometimes they're good, sometimes you get paragraphs about bullshit. I'm sorry, sometimes I do get some paragraphs about some bullshit. I'm not gonna say who, but sometimes there'll be some long ass paragraphs and be some bullshit, and I'd be like, this don't have nothing to do with this anime, why are you on here like this? That happens sometimes. YouTube is very interesting. Like I never thought I was gonna be a YouTuber. I remember back in 2017 I wanted to be a YouTuber, but I didn't really have none of the stuff, and I just gave up on it, because I wanted to make this video about like Gohan from Dragon Ball Z. It was a certain video about him that around that time I could have made it because of certain things before we got more information, but I just never did it. So now that I did, it's very interesting. I've learned a lot of stuff. I know that you need to know about the SEO, that search engine shit. You need to learn about that with tags and all that to do all this extra stuff. It's like there's a lot of stuff you learn. Another thing I learned is making thumbnails can dead ass be so fucking hard, bro. Like dead ass so hard. because it takes so much time and you got to do it. I'm still like, I still make bad thumbnails. I don't make the thumbnails I think I should be able to make, but I'm getting better. Another thing is editing. Editing is all over the place too, because I'm learning how to do editing too. It's like, it's always interesting learning shit. That's how it is. It's always like, but I mean, editing and making a thumbnail sometimes take a long ass time, and it'd be like, oh my fucking gosh, how long it's taken. But I mean, it's getting better. Another thing is that I hate that people say is, people always will say, write a script, write a script, write a script, write a script. If you write a script, and I'm like, do you not realize I'm in school? Do you not realize I work? When do I have a time to write a script? Making YouTube videos is a hobby too. Like, how am I gonna write a script? Let's say I write this script and the video just gives me like only like what, 10 views or some shit like that. What was the point of writing that script? That's why I'm not gonna write a script. I'm not making money off of this shit. I make a little bit of money, but this is not a career for me. This is literally a hobby. So if you want to write my script, hey, hit me up. You can write scripts for videos. So I get annoyed at seeing those, because it's like, bro, who cares? I'm just making videos. I'm not trying to over here make some like crazy ass shit. It'd be different if I was making money off of this and this was a career. But people always just like, whenever they write a script, I'd be like, why? I'd be like, no, I'm not writing one. Do you want to? I'm gonna, next time somebody say, I'm gonna be like, bro, write one for me then, because bro, you act like I'm some crazy English major, and it's like, no, I'm not gonna write a script no time soon, ever. Even if I started making a career out of YouTube, I probably still would never do that shit, because writing a script, to me writing a script is taking away the fun from YouTube, because I like just going on here just running my mouth and rambling. Like, I don't want to do that shit. Maybe it depends on a video. Maybe I do research for shit sometimes, and I know sometimes people get mad about the pronunciations of shit, but it's like, hey, sometimes it just don't click. Like, bro, I'm not about to sit here and practice this shit for like multiple days to get it right. Hey, you can read the damn title. That's how that shit works sometimes, man. It's very interesting. Hey, like I said, I've learned a few things off of YouTube. I haven't really learned much, but I mean, anime community is very interesting. I still don't feel like I'm part of that shit like that, because I mean, I don't really, there's a few people I know that I've talked to a little bit of, but I still feel like I'm just like in my own place. And I probably need to go out and talk to other anime YouTubers or anime people in general, just to get maybe more out there and meet more people. But maybe one day I will. I don't know. I've learned a few things, not really that much. If you want a part 2 of this, I can make one, and we can probably go into detail with other stuff. But this was like some of the like little short stuff, because I just had like a little things I just wanted to say. I honestly just wanted a little rant video just to rant about some shit. But yeah, this is mainly the stuff I've learned. Like I said, you get opinion. People don't read manga. It's very interesting that people, oh, this is one last thing, but it's very interesting that people actually use my anime list. I never realized people like actually created those and used those. I always thought that was just some shit you can just go on and people just like talk on there a little bit, but I didn't know people actually like use that shit seriously, because I've never used that shit. There's people that have asked me if I have one. I'm like, yeah, I don't have that one. I keep all my anime in my notes. I do ghetto shit. Keep that shit in my notes. I have like 500 and something anime all in my notes, and I just count it like that, because I don't want to make one at this point, because I know it's going to be doing way too much, especially because I looked at it before where it's like, oh, what you're watching, how many you watched, and all that, and I'm like, I don't feel like making this shit right now. Maybe one day in the future when I get a whole bunch of time, I'll do that shit, but right now I'm not, like, at all. And it is interesting like how many people like pirate anime. It is, because I mean, like I said, I pirated anime before, but you learn like how many people do. But I mean, I always pirate it and watch shit like on streaming services just because you can. But it is like very interesting, because like you're learning, you'd be like, damn, yeah, a lot of people pirate shit and a lot of people don't. It's also funny like how other people like buy a lot of shit, like how you buy a lot of shit, because that shit's funny. Like when people that keep it with manga, I do like it when you get manga recommendations. That was why one thing I loved about the JJK video is people introduced me to Hell's Paradise, and I'm like, shit, hey, thank you. And I'm like, hey, maybe I need to talk shit about another big anime that can give me some some manga recommendations, shit. But yeah, it's always interesting. But yeah, there's probably more stuff I've learned that we can talk about. If you guys want a part 2, if people actually enjoy this, we can make a part 2 and we can talk about a lot of different shit. Hey, honestly, just leave me comments below and we can just like go over that. Like, what have you learned about anime YouTubers? Hey, if you're an anime YouTuber, leave me some comments. Just tell me what you learned about, and hey, I can talk about it in a part 2, because hey, we can. This is just like a little chill ass video. But okay, all right. But yeah, if you like, you can like. If you didn't, you can dislike, all that. But yeah, this is about some of the stuff I've learned. There's probably more, but maybe a different video. And like I said, I'm never writing a script. Don't ask me. Stop asking me. Stop asking me. I'm not making money off this shit. Don't make me. I'm not writing a script. Maybe if y'all be like, hey, maybe if the video. Oh, you know what, bro? I might test that out and I'm gonna write a script for a video. If that video does not blow up, I'm gonna tell all them people next time they ask me, be like, write a script. I'm like, bro, I did that shit before, it didn't blow up. And then I'm be like, hey, you can write one for me or some shit. I don't know. All right, this is going on way too long. Didn't need to. If you enjoyed, like. If you didn't, you can dislike all that. But hey, thank you for watching. I'll see you next video. Bye.